Hello and welcome to the 3inMidfield podcast, the podcast where three friends who had their dreams to be professional footballers dashed away as children when they all discovered food have their say on the Premier League. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. You have a present coach Kojo -1. How you doing, sir?
I'm feeling good, I'm feeling good. No complaints this weekend, you know what I'm saying? I had wonderful time. Saw my people them saw my thing, you know what I'm saying? And my team did the thing. So, you know what I'm saying? It's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful day. The sun's shining. I've had a supermarket today. I've had some jollof rice this morning.
When don't you have supermarket, man?
Hey, come on. You know I'm representing.
You're obsessed. You're obsessed. It's bad for you.
Brother, they should be sponsoring this podcast, but I should start drinking one every day. I'm good, though. What are you saying?
I'm all good, man. I'm tired, though. Very, very tired. But we will push through. It is a stacked podcast full of enemies and rival fans and new faces as well. Bits and bobs, how you doing, sir?
Yeah. So what? Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you so much for having me. Low-key, I'm beefing Kojo, but I'm happy to be here. Kojo's a good friend of mine, you know what I mean, on and off YouTube. So I'm happy to be here. But, Kojo, man, I'm not going to do any indirects. But Kojo, man, I should have been here a few months ago, bro. But real talk, no. Thank you for having me, man. Seriously, I watch you guys. Love your content, love the energy. And, you know what, big up to you guys because, some of the content you're creating is unbelievable, man. So, yeah, thank you for having me, man.
Thank you for joining us. Daniel, second time. I can call you your first name now. It's wonderful.
Yeah, what's good, man? I think there was three of us last time. I'm not going to lie.
There were three Daniels, but
nothing I ain't even used to these days, man. Nothing I ain't even used to, but it is what it is. Yeah, look, obviously I'm a Villa fan. Bit of a regular weekend for us. Not been the same since January turned, but look, it's a new day. Lockdown starting to ease. I still couldn't get in the barbers, which is why I've got a cap on today. But we're getting there. We're getting there, boys.
Well, exactly. Jack, how you doing?
Shit, but you know what? Yeah, we'll keep it moving, man.
Do you ever come on where you're not miserable? I feel like every time you're on, you're miserable.
I feel like that's strategic on your part. I feel you know.
You have to talk to another Tottenham fan, the top right Tottenham fan.
What is that, bro? What is that? We just smoked their team this weekend. You told me a Tottenham fan, bro. Come on.
London-based United fans, man. You got to love it. You got to love it. Ethan,
how's it going, man? Thanks
doing?
for having me on. Love you lot's context. I'm under the weather. Couldn't tell you why, but I feel like it's something to do with the past 24 hours and, Sorry, says it all, literally. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Bits, please, just give me a second, man. Please. Give me a second.
Just try to put the key in ignition, Ethan. You know what I'm saying?
Please, man.
games, City, Leeds, Liverpool, Villa. Unfortunate for you, Daniel. West Ham, Leicester, Tottenham, Manchester United, Sheffield, Arsenal. Where shall we start?
The game at the Champagne Lane.
Beautiful. That's North London. Let's go. Let's go North London, shall we?
Okay. Arsenal free. Oh, I'm only joking. Just making sure you guys know North London is red. Just saying that there. Where we going? Tottenham 1, Manchester United 3 goals from Heung-min Son. Fred, you let Fred score. Come on, guys. Come on, man. Edison Cavani and Mason Greenwood. Kojo. Good result? Good win?
Wonderful.
We're just
wonderful.
run of the mill because it's Tottenham.
I mean, it is the history of the Tottenham, but more than anything, brother, listen, this was a lovely W. There's nothing to complain about. You know what I'm saying? We got a goal bumped off. No, we're going to complain about that because, quite frankly, we won the game in it. But if it was a different result, I'll be fuming. Didn't think it was a foul, but it is what it is. We were rattled. We were thrown off guard. They took the lead. And after that, we just ran the show. It was that simple. And, brother, when I can say that Fred was excellent, that tells you the whole story. When I can say that Maguire was good, that tells you the whole story. When I can tell you that Pogba was doing that, Pogba was just brilliant. He was sensational. Cavani, who United fans are 50-50 about, found his life again and was actually quite clinical, something that he's not usually. So, he was enjoying life. And Mason Greenwood.
That first goal was beautiful, man. I screamed. I screamed when that winning. I was like, yo, that's a great goal.
Mason Greenwood's cross. My God. My goodness.
I'm talking about the Pogba one. The one.
Whoa, come on.
The disallowed goal.
The disallowed goal. Oh.
Disallowed one.
Yeah, little bit of movement, beautiful movement, beautiful finish. And oh wow, sorry, this is a bit mad already. Wow.
Oh wow.
Dang. Still coming up with a big one. And oh wow. Uncle Stel. Listen, Frudman are one of a kind, but if you're gonna add him to that list, me and you have this little discussion. But and Mason Greenwood, listen, I'm so happy for him because again, United fans have been slowly getting his case bit by bit. The guy's a kid, but he came off the bench, one beautiful assist, one beautiful strike, put Tottenham to the sword. Don't want to hear about them in top 4 dreams anymore. I think that's done over, and I am feeling wonderful.
To you. Earlier, you said you were upset with Kojo for not having you on earlier. So I imagine it during that time, your thoughts on Ole have gone up and down, up and down. I imagine, but you could be complaining right now, second in the league, potential Europa League final or Europa League win. It's gone quite well, no?
Boy. I mean, man like Ollie, like real talk, you know what? We're doing okay. We're making the best out of a bad situation right now. City are going to win the league. Everyone knows that. Ollie's man management, he's been brilliant. Tactic-wise, listen, that's another conversation. However, on the day, against probably one of the best tacticians, it was easy. Literally said, second half, "Oi, Pogs, go and enjoy yourself. Go play ball." Literally just said, "Go play ball." Listen, Pogba is Ndombele's, whatever his name is, Pogba's his father, is his pastor, is his elder, is his... don't chat to me, dog. No, but to answer your question, man, it was really the reason I was so happy with it was because of the manner that we played from the first minute to the last minute. We don't normally have a situation where Man United have actually took the game and attacked. We know the statistic with Man United that coming from behind, we've won so many games. People say it's brilliant. I think it's stupid. Just don't concede in the first place. I loved the fact that, we got a stupid goal disallowed, and then they scored, which people are not saying, but it was Rashford's man, but he never tracked back. But people are saying Wan-Bissaka, but if Rashford actually tracks back, the goal doesn't happen. And then in the second half, we literally saw the quality, the best player on the pitch come alive, and just literally said, "Yo, Ollie, bun your tactics. I'm going to go win this game." And for me, man, I'm really happy in the sense because it's against Tottenham, because it's against this arrogant fan base that think they deserve world-class football. This fan base think they deserve Nagelsmann, who's done nothing in his career. They should get Ten Hag, who's done nothing to even show evidence that he's brilliant. To the way they disrespect Jose, and it's like, yeah, stick it up to you. And we scored 3. Man, look, the referees gave them 6, and we still touched them another goal. Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm Jose in, by the way. Yeah.
Pardon?
I said I'm Jose in, by the way.
Oh, no, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you...
Look at Jack. Oh, my goodness.
Respect him, but
Let me,
for me, man, I don't want to elaborate on the question, but it's good right now. However, today's a new day, and I can't help think what we're going to get on Thursday. So right now, I've enjoyed it, but I'm back to reality, man. Back to reality.
So where do you lie in this debate where it's more United are playing well because of individual brilliance over Ollie's tactics?
See, the funny thing is, right, if you've played football, right, I'm not being funny, individual brilliance, I think some people, when they use this, they don't play football or watch football. When someone scores a 25-yard free kick, what is it? A team goal? If when Martial scored against Liverpool, was that a team goal? No, of course it was individual brilliance. That's why these players are at these clubs, because of what they can do individually. For example, Drogba individual brilliance. Do you think Drogba was like, yeah, it's because of tearing them and that's why I was scoring? No. So when people say individual brilliance, I just look at them like, yo, go on whatever you want to say, because I'm not about to rate your intelligence football-wise. For me, intelligent brilliance here, look, when people say intelligent brilliance, what's is that not the same as a moment of magic? If that's not when they say, remember Andy Gray back in the day, like, that's why you pay him for what he does, that's why you pay the money. Like, so people need to literally stop saying that, because at the end of the day, Pogba done what Pogba does, yeah. Am I going to be like, that's individual? No, because that's why he's in the team. Cavani scores that header. Was anyone shocked that he scored that? No. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So it's a bit of to answer your question, Keo, I think it's a bit of both, because Ollie will never ever get the credit when we win, but he'll get the criticism when we lose. So obviously, I mean, look, who else is talking to these guys at halftime? Do you know what I mean? Like, some people that talk about football act like they've never been involved in football in any capacity. And yeah, I'm happy for the guy. I'm happy for Ollie for now. Yeah, but like I said to you earlier, man, like, reality hits. But to answer your question, it's a bit of both. He picks the team at the end of the day, and also at halftime he makes the changes and he tweaks the things a little bit. So yeah. It's a bit of both, personally.
Coach, let's go back to you with Mason Greenwood. You touched on it earlier. Obviously, you got the goal as a brilliant strike, something that you were used to seeing last year. Obviously, a lot of stuff has happened personally with Mason Greenwood, but going forward, do you think now he's going to start pushing on, or do you just want to ease him back into the side?
I mean, I would love for him to be pushed on, but I don't mind whichever way it goes. The guy's still a kid. In football now, actually, no, I won't say since Messi and Ronaldo, because you had your R9s in the past and all that, also gems, but, you got more players that are coming through, and when they are playing 18, 19, people get so excited and, start to look at them as older players, even though you still have to remember they are still kids and they will go through bad patches. Not every young player is going to explode and have continuous good form like Mbappe or like Messi or like even Ronaldo was even up and down before he became more of a star. So you just got to take your time with these kind of guys. And with Mason, I'm calm with him. I haven't really been bothered about his form this year because he is young. And if he doesn't play good, it doesn't mean he's like a detriment, because when United don't play good, he's not the sole issue. His decision making has to get better, but he's a youth. So he has to bring that up and get better with it. And I believe he will. But I think this game was very important because it is a big game at the end of the day. And to have such an impact off the bench when the game was in the ascendancy, it was at 1-1. You've created a goal and you've scored the other one to kill the game off. That for me deserves nothing but praise. So hopefully he can go on and continue this form. If it does turn into form anyways, one game I can't call it form, but hopefully it becomes form.
Harry Kane kind of went missing during this game. Let's ask the Tottenham fans. Was he being goal shy because he was trying to protect the reputation of Manchester United, the team he's looking to go to next season?
Yes, man. If you can afford him, yeah, fair enough. But with these tactics, right? With this, I don't know where to begin. There's just an array of issues, right? So obviously the back line, terrible. So Jose feels he has to play in a particular way to protect that. And every time he does, it fails. So because obviously there's much more pressure that's being applied to them because of the style of play. That way, Kane and Son aren't getting the ball. They're not going to get the ball. It's a numbers game. The more you attack, the more you have the ball, the more likely you're going to score, right? The more likely those big players are going to have the ball in the first place and actually, get the ball in the box, make those runs and whatnot. Terrible. And the guy keeps shouting, press to the players. Did you see that one time where we were pressing and then you easily broke through without even a sweat? And that's because they're not coached to press. You can't just tell a team to defend and expect them to defend well. They have to be coached to defend. You can't expect a team to press well and not coach them to press well. You have to. It's all about management. It's all about coaching. This manager does not know how to coach a set of players in any kind of way. The guy is he's a dinosaur. Listen, the Madeira Megson, the Algarve Allardyce, whatever you want to call it, man. This guy,
My dear Megson.
He's done. How can
I'd agree with that.
I can't fathom. And the thing is, it doesn't matter. Man United, Crystal Palace, he'll do this against every opponent. And that's the worst thing. That's the most frustrating thing. And if you keep doing this against every opponent, how do you expect to be able to learn how to play football? Harry Kane 2 months ago said our attacking play is we're still using Pochettino's methods. We're still using Pochettino's methods, the former manager's methods to attack. Which tells me this guy isn't coaching the attack. But anyway.
You've been waiting patiently there, Bits.
Do you know what it is, bro? I don't want to interrupt. Kojo knows what I'm like. I'm very passionate. So I was taking some notes, what Jack was saying. So that's why I raised my hand. It's like the Zoom call. You know, in the Zoom call or the flipping Microsoft Teams, you put your hand up and you wait your turn. I'm just putting my hand up to wait my turn, bro, because I've got a few questions on what Jack said. I told you when I was coming on this show, I was ready. Can I ask him a few questions, Cahill?
Go ahead.
Jack, he said about protecting the back four. Now, first on that, Eric Dyer and the Rodon boy. Were you really trying to keep them one-on-one with Cavani, Rashford, and Pogba? Don't you have to protect those kind of players? Yes or no?
You normally have to, yeah. I wouldn't.
Okay. So the next one, you said about pressing. Now, Man United start football from the back. So does it not make sense to start pressing them high up?
It makes sense to press, period. It does make sense to press.
And then obviously you said in the midfield, there was just holes in midfield. And do you think that is because Fred, McTominay had too much tenacity for Højbjerg and Ndombele? Because I remember seeing Ndombele take a deep, big breath after 10 minutes, and I'm like, this guy's not up for it. So when you say Jose does this against every opponent, right? My thinking is that for the last 20 years, this guy hasn't really changed the way he plays, but he's won trophies. So my question to you on that is, the champagne football you guys have been playing under the Poch way brought you nothing. And this is not me even trolling you, okay? You can say good football, or we done well, we won here, you got to the Champions League final, but you didn't win nothing, okay? Yeah. Now, you're now under a manager that you don't like.
But in the 2-horse race, by the way, just add that there.
Fair play, sir. Fair play. Now, you're under a manager where, like, basically, he's not been properly backed, you know. You bought the players of caliber of Doherty, Lascelles, so they're not really the A or even B list players. Now, he's in a cup final. You potentially probably will qualify for Europa League. How can you complain with that? With what you've been doing prior?
Well, first of all, this isn't a direct answer, but we're going to get battered by at least 6 goals in that final.
I don't think so, but okay.
But so that's first. Secondly, Pochettino did the same thing. He got Europa League football in his. He got into the League Cup final in his first season. The difference is in this run, we look at the teams we played. We played Stoke. We had Leyton Orient, which we didn't even get to play. We got to buy it because of COVID. And then Brentford. The only big game that we won was Chelsea at home on penalties. So again, that run, you know, Pochettino also got us into a League Cup final. So he's not doing anything more than previous managers have done.
So why are you complaining then?
Because we're getting battered. We're getting battered every game by not just top teams, but inferior teams that are in the lower half of the league. We're playing in a very particular. Crystal Palace away was the first game where I thought, wait a minute, what is this going on? Where we scored a goal and we were playing well going forward, and then suddenly the team just decided, you know what, shut up shop, and that allowed Crystal Palace back in the game. You finished 1-1, and doing that consistently. It's reverting to type in the second half. Where we are the second highest team to take the lead in games, and we're also the 19th lowest team to hold Leeds in the league.
Jack, I'm not gonna lie.
Because the
I don't watch
approach.
that. I don't watch all of those stats and stuff. All I'm saying, what I'm seeing is that at the end of the day, he's not been backed properly. No Tottenham fan was making any noise when you lot were doing the Harry Son back and forth, Batman and Robin kind of goals. Sky Bet was even putting bets in like Harry to set up Son to set up Harry. You lot were enjoying life.
We were, but at the same time, I didn't let that paper over the cracks. I knew we were going to. I didn't know we were going to crumble down this much, but I knew we were going to crumble down eventually. But the one thing that will tell you, that will 100% tell you, Jose is finished as a manager, when Solskjaer admitted that their preparation came from YouTube for this game. Literally, their preparation pretty much came through just watching videos that same morning.
The bench rests. Thank you.
Jack, I've got a question for you, actually.
I was about to say the line of duty was yesterday, bits and bobs.
I recorded it still. I didn't watch it.
Can I just ask something to the Tottenham boys?
Yeah, right.
So, it's Son and Kane. They were ripping it up. Like there's no doubt for me that Spurs have the talent. I mean, yeah, I gotta just say I disagree slightly with what Bits and Bobs said, right? Like getting second in the Champions League, getting to the Champions League final. Yeah, it's not winning a trophy or anything, but it's really good, right? It's amazing, and I don't think many teams can get there. Obviously,
I disagree. This is carry on.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking with a mid-table hat on, right, as a Villa fan, right? But like, this is a very talented side. Son and Kane, they can link up. We've seen before that they can be one of the most devastating partnerships in world football. So what is it? It's got to be the defense, right? Like it's got to be there's got to be something which is imbalanced, and it can't be.
Yeah, I think it boils down to the squad just simply not being good enough.
Right.
Yeah, the approach, the manager's tactics, as well as the defense just not being good enough, you know. Bits came on our show, actually. He threw up a very, very, very valid point, you know. Mourinho's been everywhere. He's been to Chelsea, he's been to Porto, he's been to Madrid, been to Man U to an extent where all of these places he's been backed, you know. He's been backed financially by the managers. He's been backed in terms of his style of play. You know, we've been spoiled in terms of attacking football, but financially, you know, if with Jose, you have to back him. If you back him, you're going to see results. If you don't back him, you know, I feel like we're just receiving the backlash of what happens when you don't back him correctly, you know? So, yeah.
But what is backing correctly for Spurs? Because you obviously, I feel like you're similar. You're obviously similar with Arsenal. You're going to get a certain amount of money, and how you spend that money is exactly that's how it's going to impact your team further. Is it a case that he didn't spend the money he was given well? Because he was given quite a bit of money, considering Poch had zero last season.
100%, I agree. I mean, you can. In a way, he did get backed. Yeah, let's not get that twisted. You know, we spent 90 million. We brought in people like Bale, which is pleasing to the eye. We brought in Reguilon, pleasing to the eye. You know, several guys. But at the end of the day, you break it down. We brought in Højbjerg, who at Southampton level, I'm going to get slaughtered. He's not good enough to be in our team. You got Højbjerg. You got Joe Hart back. He played every game. I
think he's one of the best signings in the summer transfer window.
Listen, it's only been the past
disagree with that. Believe me, he gets exposed here and there. I'd say Reguilon, Højbjerg, but in terms of defense and CDM was our main issues. Yeah, we identified the CDM, but centre back, we brought in Joe Rodon from the Championship, and that's a kind of panic buy. You know, we're looking at Skriniar. If you want to back Jose, you want to play this defensive football where you're putting 10 men behind the ball. You know, it all starts with the defense. You know, we brought Skriniar and another centre-back pairing of, I don't know, someone like Thiago Silva. I don't feel like we'll be having this conversation today, to be honest. I really don't.
Yeah, another thing as well on top of that, building on what Ethan said, Stel, in one of the comments, Stel from Shooting Defence, he basically said what I'm going to say. It's basically, we needed a massive clear out for years. Yeah. So even a good summer objectively for most teams still won't be good enough, because this team is such a backlog of dead wood that you need about 10, 12 signings to actually completely refresh this team
100%.
Minimum, because it's so bad. Like the state of the squad is hideous. So that's one thing. Recruitment, poor. We used to have Paul Mitchell, who's now the RB Leipzig head of recruitment there. and he signed, Alderweireld. He found Dele Alli. He was finding good spots that, and he left Spurs because he couldn't work with Daniel Levy because of his penny pinching essentially. And now we've got Steve Hitchen, who in the documentary said, "I don't like the January transfer window." It's your job. You're supposed to like it. Like, you're hiring these idiots who don't want to do their job. It's pathetic. But on top of backing Jose, listen, I don't agree with that anymore. In 2021, I don't agree with you give Jose his players, he'll deliver, because quite frankly, I look at the signings he made at Man United, the Lindelofs, the Freds,
we won a European trophy.
Listen, they brought down on Sunday, black. So you know what the names you're saying right now. I'm saying, black. Come on.
Lindelof and Fred didn't win those trophies.
No, but Jack, do you know what you're saying here? Like, I hear what you're saying about Mourinho, but this is my question to you lot, to everyone, right? Jose Mourinho, it basically does what everything it says on the tin, blah 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 blah, right? If you hire him, you back him. That's it. You accept the media, the circus,
I'd agree.
the fracas, the beef with all the managers. You accept that all because at the end of all this, he's going to produce a trophy. And this is why, like, when I see Tanya, I see Mel, I see flipping Ryan, all them moan, I'm like, relax. This guy's been doing this. It's just because he's getting more coverage now. When he was saying he was the special one, they were eating out of his hand. That was it. He's not doing nothing different. The difference now, is the era and the player, okay? He's came out and said it. He said when he's speaking to Frank Lampard at 23, Frank Lampard was a man. He said now when he speaks to 23-year-olds, they're kids. They don't want to be told reality. And for some people will thrive under him. Some people will regress. But the point of the matter is this: he's coming to a club, and this is not a dig or anything, with a loser's mentality. You're nearly men. Daniel, you've just said, getting to the Champions League final is a good thing. No, it's not, because you didn't win it. There's no point in getting to a cup final. If you've ever lost a cup final, trust me, you'd rather lose a semi or lose a quarter final, because to get to the final and lose it is like you just wasn't good enough. That's what it basically is. And Tottenham have always been the nearly men. They've got there, they play good football. So what? Give me a trophy, right?
That's sentiment as well, though, man. That's sentiment. Like it's a good campaign. Get out of here, Daniel, man. Like, what nonsense is that? What? So look, I have a son. Right? I'm not a Tottenham fan, by the way. No, I know, but listen, we're talking football, man. We're talking football. But at the end of the day, for me, it's like it's the mentality of just saying, we got to the final. No, when we won the Champions League by United, we were talking about defending it. You see the difference in mentality. You can't just accept failure. And what happened? Jose Mourinho came to Tottenham 2-3 years late. Because at the end of the day, Jose Mourinho does not build teams. That's obvious. He comes in, 3 years stunt, wins trophies, he's out. The problem with Tottenham, that some people don't want to admit, your players are not good enough. Full stop.
Listen, they're not good enough, but I disagree with the 2 or 3 years thing, because with the team that finished second, that got 86 points, I don't think Mourinho would have done that, because that was such a system-based team that thrived, where every player fit and were molded into a particular role. Jose wouldn't know how to use those players, which is why I disagree.
I think it's a bit harsh, Jack.
I think it's a bit harsh.
He's the most decorated manager you guys have hired. You need to remember why you signed him. Look, you tried all the gold star, Stardust stuff with Pochettino. You flirted with it and stuff. It still wasn't good enough. There's a reason why people hired him. Look, my club, Man United, hired him, and he delivered. It just got toxic, as it normally does. But we got a European trophy. We got an FA Cup. Like, in his tenure, he delivered. Do you know what I'm saying? So what I'd say to you guys, put the seatbelt on, enjoy the ride, because you will get a trophy. And then when he gets a trophy, for that 24 hours, he's your man. Like, come on.
We weren't getting the trophy anyway, regardless if he.
Me and you're going to do a watch along, Jack.
That's the thing.
The City Cup final, me and you're going to do a watch along. I'm telling you, you're beating City.
All right, let's do it.
I'm telling you. I'm
putting on a £5 bet that we're going to concede 6+ goals. I'll
take that £5 bet, sir. I'll take that £5 bet.
I can't lie. If you can see 6 goals in the cup final, I think you also
say hi, Uncle Kojo?
Be banned from doing podcasts. Hello, young man.
No,
nah, he's on it.
So, yeah, so good.
Oh, okay. Carry on, coach. Sorry, man. I'll just mute my mic. Don't worry.
No, that's cool. I was just saying, if you guys concede 6 in the final, I don't want to see any Spurs fans on any platforms for a while because it could get violent. It could get really violent. That's poor. As for me, I think what Bob said is spot on in terms of about Mourinho and the times, because he always, when he talks about players, he always talks about the current generation and how he doesn't like them. And that's what it is at the end of the day. He's someone who, I think someone like Kane, he can work with Kane. Kane can be old school. But someone like, give me someone your team. Yeah, and Dele Alli, you know, the hard work that he wants them to go off, like telling Dele Alli, you're a poor trainer, he would hope that it will make him come training and say, cool, I need to do better. But Dele Alli hasn't got that character. Just not his style.
Isn't that down to a fact that he's unwilling to adapt his style?
But when we say unwilling to adapt his style, I think we're thinking more tactically. I think when it comes to players,
about his interactions.
His interactions, okay, but the thing is, all right, so what he does tend to do is he does put sometimes at first he comes to a club, he puts his arm around the shoulder, same old that everyone does. And then he starts to go back to his old sort of system. And in that way, I think he's trying to just do like this, like, I'm not always going to be here to sort of like put a cushion behind your head and make you feel comfortable. I need you sometimes to just grab your balls to say, yo, I need to level up. And I feel that's the way he thinks, because there are a lot of players that need to be mollycoddled. That's the end of the day. A lot of people need to feel that comfort and feel that love, that even if they're playing terribly, the manager will still go and hug you and say, yeah, it's okay. Like, you'll get there. Mourinho's not someone that has that kind of time. He's you guys said it. He's someone that just loves to win. He's not here about building teams. Or if he does build a team, he buys players that are ready so they can go and win. That's what he's got time for. Because at the end of the day, when he retires, he's going to be talking about his accolades, not that he built a young team. If he builds a young team and does nothing with it, it is what it is. So he wants to win. And I'm sure he wants to do it at Tottenham. But he is a problem with his tactics and the way he approaches games. But it's also a problem with the players just being, quite frankly, very poor. And some of the better players aging, like, of the world.
And that takes time, man. That takes time. You know, you gotta let somebody work on that over the course of a couple of seasons. Because, you know, when you've got players that aren't performing and you need to upgrade, yeah, man, it ain't happening overnight. So I don't know. From an outside looking in, I feel like you got to stick with Jose and just trust the process. But I get why that's hard. I get why that's hard.
Trust the process.
There is number one, there's no process with Jose, and number two, his judgment of like the man management style, the era and the generations of people that we are now, where people are softer. That's true. That's very true. I agree with that. But at the same time, we saw in the documentary, this guy said, "Look, that Eric Dyer, good player, eh?" that should say it all, in my opinion. But Eric Dyer is a good player. You are not a good coach. You're a terrible
player,
coach.
man. That's his player.
But he plays players he can trust. Let's be honest. He's done this everywhere he goes. He finds out mentality-wise, okay, who can I actually trust and who I can rely on? And then he plays them. And for me, yeah, like...
Eric Dyer has that mentality.
No, but when I say mentality, like, he'll play for the manager. And for me, like, you see it in football teams where, like, certain managers take to certain players because they're like, right, I can trust this guy, so I'm going to play him. You know, and...
Like
I just think Tottenham's problem is not Jose right now. It's your board and it's the owner, problem. Literally. Because you have to look at the people that hire him. That's it.
I feel like a lot of Tottenham fans are naive in a sense where they forget that we're actually in a 12-year drought. For a top 6 club, that is criminal. And, you know, I'm not going to lie to you, I was one of them people that said Poch out because... we're at a stage where we've moved into a stadium, moved into a fancy stadium, moved to a fancy training facilities. I mean, you know, we've got the fancy players, you know, but we're just not pushing ourselves over the edge, you know. And I feel like in world football at the time, talking about once we did sack Poch, there wasn't really anyone who I'd really looked to other than Pep and Guardiola that could, you know, we could develop a winning mentality, which is what we're missing. I feel like a lot of Tottenham fans do need to remember that, you know.
I agree. We won't win anything under this chairmanship, under these owners. It's not even about the trophies. It's about actually working your way up again for now until these owners go. Because listen, these owners are going to say sadly, obviously, I want my team to win trophies. Obviously, I want to be up there. It's never going to happen under the stupid owners because you know what Enoch are like. You know what Levy is like. They're going to penny pinch. The stadium is a cash cow. It's going to be like that, and we're never going to win, regardless of who the manager is. So for now, you got someone, and right now we've got someone that's exacerbating the issue, and that manager is making a bad issue, a bad situation worse. Which is like that's something he does, and he has been doing for the past few years now. He's finished.
Jack, last question on Tottenham, and I'll promise you I'll shut up, right? Okay. Better make sure you run me my P's come the cup final. Right? Better make sure, but my last question to you is there you go. Why does Tottenham act as if they deserve a world-class manager? Because it's not like hear what I'm saying. Let me elaborate what I'm trying to say. Man United had the dynasty. We dominated football. We had our cycle. Chelsea, Man City, and even flipping what's that idiot club? Arsenal as well, right? So each club had their cycles of dominance, right? So you can say, "Oh, Arsenal need a manager for now to go and kickstart them." Blah blah blah. Liverpool, we saw Klopp respectively to Man City, Pep. Man United have had LVG, Jose, now Oli, okay, and we even won stuff. But why does Tottenham think, like Ethan said, 12-year drought, why does Tottenham think you guys deserve some world-class, serious manager that is going to come and take you, man, to the promised land? Because on previous evidence, you're going by nothing.
Oh, I mean,
Sorry, man, I had to ask.
So I'm not expecting like Klopp or Pep because there's very few world-class managers, are very few and far between. I'm not expecting them to be our manager anytime soon until they decline, probably. So yeah, I'm not expecting any world-class manager. I just want a manager who's good and progresses the club and actually gets us to play some kind of football. Because I'm gonna keep it real, man. We ain't going anywhere with this chairman. So I don't know about Ethan. I don't know what your opinion is, but I'm not expecting any world-class manager. I just want a good manager. And if it's Nagelsmann, he hasn't won anything, so he's not a world-class manager. We've seen him get torn up in the Champions League.
Yeah,
you know, he's very easy. He has tactical naivety there, which obviously that will change over time. But he is roughly of that level based on sort of the size, you know, the money that we pay managers and the stature of the club. I don't know what Ethan thinks.
So in other words, basically, Tottenham are literally a small club because historically. No, when I say small club, no, hear me out. Listen, if I want to troll you, no. When I say that, I mean I'm talking about like you're basically are a small club because at the same time, mentality-wise, you're saying you know why you're not going to get a world-class manager. So really, you know, you've got a manager that's bigger than your club right now. But listen, hey, the defense rests. You know what I mean? We touched you guys 3-1. I'm chilling.
Come on.
No, hey, you should be disappointed. I thought you should have beaten us 4-5-1. You should be disappointed with your team. Man.
Listen, brother, I was on a show with Ethan, yeah, and I said to him how it was gonna go.
I don't remember.
I said to him, this is how it's gonna go, and it went exactly. This is me. We move in silence, but I just put it up and tagged him and said, "I told you, man." Baby, yeah,
well played. Now we definitely got a rebuild on our hands after this. By the way, it's down from the players to picking up the mentality because everyone just looks deflated. Like whoever comes in next, because I want Mourinho out after it. By the way, at the end of the season, but I'm happy for him to take the Carabao Cup final. Happy for him to try and make top 4. But whoever comes in next has got a big job on his hands. Ideally, I'd like it to be Poch, but it won't be Poch. But someone needs to come in young, hungry, good style of football, attractive style of football. This guy's laughing. Don't know why.
That's why.
Literally. But yeah, attractive style of football. Just needs to lift the mood, really. If Kane's going, then, we need to invest properly into our squad, bring a bit of balance. And yeah, man, good big job on our hands, 100%.
We'll look after Kane for you. Don't worry.
40 minutes. That went on for 40 minutes. We have to move on. Just to add my 2 cents to the matter. By Thursday, Arteta might be available, so that's my gift to you guys.
Go for a swap, innit?
Swap, yeah, 100%.
We'll touch quickly on the loss. Manchester City 1, Leeds United 2. Is it me? Who's echoing?
Mute myself.
Oh. Blah blah blah.
I think it was Ethan. Yeah, I think it was Ethan.
Okay.
I think it was Ethan. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway. You go, coach.
Okay. So there echoes. I think firstly, the first thing to say is what a result with 10 men for Leeds. Because City did pound the pressure from start to finish of this game. Let's not be mistaken, but to take the lead and then to take the lead, to go down to 10 men, concede, and still go on to win the game is damn really impressive. So shout out to Leeds for that. A team that I do tend to criticize because of their style of football, but I feel like they're a lot more methodical in their win in this one. Let's go, Daniel. People are starting. United fans saw that result and started to get a little bit excited again. I don't know why. Is there any chance that City are going to blow this title race by any shot?
Of course it is, man.
There you go. Thank you.
Did they go into the Leeds match and get battered? They didn't get battered, man. It was a freak result. Let's call it what it is. I mean, fair play Leeds because they defended brilliantly, right? Fair play because you have to. Yeah, you have to be good to handle that onslaught. I mean, we've all seen what Man City can do going forward. I think the thing with Bielsa, the thing with Leeds is they were probably matching their energy regardless of the fact that they weren't able to create those chances. And also, to do it with 10 men, Stuart Dallas coming in there at the right time. It's a club with some positivity that that even when Leeds get bad results, they don't let it affect them. Like this is a team with a very, very strong mentality. So I think for Man City, look, you go away from that match and you think, listen, it's a bad result. How many of those do we actually get? At the end of the day, they're a consistent team, creating chances like crazy. They'll keep on continuing to make those chances, and look, statistically, they ain't gonna keep dropping points. So United fans, as good as you've been, and as well as that team is developing, it ain't about you. Man City are the main characters this season, and they ain't gonna let their story die.
I mean, obviously the Premier League is done, but these are the type of results where Manchester City need to be looking at because it's just a random event. Because I mean, there's a one-off cup competition like the final, that's a one-off cup competition, and the Champions League, where we all know that Pep the Tinkerer, most times since his days at Barcelona, has messed a lot of these chances up. So I mean, it might be a blip in the Premier League road, but looking at it in terms of the bigger picture, because they want the Champions League, they want to win the quadruple. I don't know what's 5. It's not a quadruple because they'll probably win
quintuplet.
They'll probably win the Community Shield next season. So they want that. But these are the type of results that they need to look out for because it's. I think this was bad for City. They should not have lost this match. And going up against teams, who are they facing in the Champions League? Dortmund
2-1.
2-1 that they're winning. So,
I mean, if Dortmund they were away, right?
Yeah. So if Dortmund win 1-0, then it could be another shock result.
So
but they're fraudmen anyway, so don't worry about them.
But guys, though, like all jokes aside, do you not think that in the game, there was a slight arrogance from Man City because the way they were just. They lacked intensity. They were taking shots from places. John Stones was thinking he was flipping Beckenbauer running forward and that with the ball. And do you not think they just thought, oh, we'll beat them anyway? I think it was a bit of an automatic kind of we'll beat them. And the thing about Leeds, isn't it? Leeds have this character where they're still going to run, they're still going to play how they're going to play. You're never going to see the whole 4-4-1, let's not get beat here. They went for it. Credit to them. I wasn't shocked because potentially, I actually said in my group chat that this could be a potential upset, and they were like, "You're waffling." I was like, "No," but you know, Man City right now, in their players' heads, they've won the league. Okay. And complacency, hindsight, and all of that, yeah, they're more worried about the Dortmund game, personally. And I really think when Leeds went to 10 men, they thought, inedible, we'll win, blah, blah, blah. And it didn't happen, you know. But if I'm honest with you, I honestly don't think they're bothered about getting beat. Because look at the points gap. Yeah. They need to lose, is it 4 more games?
They left Mahrez and KDB on the bench as well.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, so like, come on, man. Like, look, good point for Leeds. They are now above the Circus Club. So, yeah, like, listen, Yorkshire pudding's all around, man. What are we saying? Gravy or not? You know what I mean?
Yorkshire team, man, Yorkshire team. I agree. I think that performance and the intensity, I think that's by design. I think Pep knows. They got Dortmund, they got Chelsea in FA Cup next week as well, semi-final. They're going to focus on these games. They've got to rotate. They've got to rest. And that intensity is definitely by design. Obviously, the result wasn't. They thought they could win that. But they've got priorities and they want to win. They want to win the lot. So that's the focus for me.
Do you know what you take out of that, though, as well, yeah? You take out of that going, well, look at that. Ferran Torres. Good game for him, yeah? You know, consistently kind of seen as a guy who's sort of like, you know, he's not KDB, you know, he's not Sterling. He ain't even kind of. We talk about Foden before we talk about him. Good game for him. That's what I'd take out of it from Pep Guardiola. There's a couple of players there who, you know, Ake got minutes. Do you know what I mean? There's good things to take out of that. I wouldn't walk out of that as a City fan thinking, you know, pessimism. Basically, at the end of the day, that's where I'm at with that.
Fair enough. Let's go to your team now. Let's talk about pessimism because Aston Villa lost 2-1 to a Liverpool side. Goals from Ollie Watkins, Mohamed Salah, and the greatest goal a right back has ever scored was scored that weekend by Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, you took it to them, but it just didn't pay off. What are you taking from that result?
No, we didn't take it to them, man. We didn't take it to them. Look, I think I might have been on this podcast when I said. And I think when I was asked about Villa and their European hopes, whether they were going to get it, I saw at the start of January, I saw at the start of February, our performances had dipped, right? They're taking a nosedive, even with Grealish in the team. I think it's inexperience. I think there's players there who probably, you know, aren't creating the chances there should be. There was a few times during that game where we'd basically just lost possession and set Liverpool away on their own attacks. You can't do that, man. You can't do that against Salah. You can't do that against, you know, even Bobby Firmino. Basically, this Liverpool team, they're not great. Not right now. You know, they're there for the taking. Much like, no offense, Jack and Ethan, the Tottenham game when Villa, you know, obviously threw points away in that game as well. I thought Tottenham were there for the taking. Just because these teams are big teams, just because they're kind of up there, doesn't mean that it's acceptable to walk away with that 2-1 result. At the end of the day, if Villa had gone into that game thinking, right, let's attack them, let's get at them, let's keep up this kind of intensity of a sort of relegation battling team, then, you know, they might have got something out of it. But unfortunately, we're kind of in that mid-table moment where I don't know if our players really have anything to seriously motivate them, which annoys me because we had a chance at Europe and it's not there at the moment. So that's where that's my overall summary, I suppose, of Villa's performance. But it's big for Liverpool, man. You know, that should hopefully set them back up to kind of get a few results in the Premier League now.
Wait, hopefully,
they've been terrible at home.
Hopefully, can we just choose another word, bro? What do you say hopefully for?
I mean, nine shots, 5 on target for a Villa side. I feel like this season has been completely been taken out of context because you were struggling last season. You were one VR decision away from going down. So to go to Liverpool to have 9 shots, 5 on target, to score first, and Salah's goal was quite lucky. It was good. It was obviously a poacher's goal, and Trent's. It was more of a sucker punch than really any quality because it was from a corner where I don't think Emi Martinez could actually get a good look in it, and it hit the corner, hit bottom corner. So I feel like that was a decent result for Villa. Were you expecting more because Liverpool have been so bad this season? But then again, they're in the top 4 battle.
It's not so much that, right? It's almost not necessarily falling asleep. I almost just want them to keep up the same kind of performance level and desperation that they did at the start of the season, but I don't think it's been there. I think part of it is Grealish not being around. Look, sucker punch, call it whatever you want, right? Lucky goals, whatever, yeah? It isn't. Liverpool were the better team throughout that game. They had a goal chalked off of VAR, which, again, it's another one of them offside decisions, which as a Villa fan, obviously I was relieved. But as a football fan, I look at that and go, the attacker hasn't got the advantage. For me, the problem is Villa have been coasting since January. The lack of Jack Grealish, I think, has got the players kind of almost not, I don't want to say not trying as hard, but almost kind of put this kind of bad mentality in the players where I don't think they trust themselves. Exactly. So, like, you know, when we get into the opponent's half, you know, you look at like Trezeguet, El Ghazi, Bertrand Traore. When we get into the opponent's half, our players seem far apart. There doesn't seem to be that confidence. Passes get misplaced, and that's not what you want to see. If you want to be functional in the Premier League, you need your attacking players linking up and trusting each other to create. You know, that's why West Ham are doing so well. You know, that's why teams like Leeds United can kind of pop up performances and that kind of thing. But also, I don't want to make this all negative. Thanks to our defense, that's why we're up there in the mid-table in the same sort of area as like Everton and Tottenham and Arsenal, basically. So it just kind of shows you how much kind of, if you're a team that's up from the Championship, sort out that defense first and foremost. Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough. Let's go to Crystal Palace 1, Chelsea 4. Goals from Kai Havertz, Pulisic, Zuma, and Pulisic again. Benteke got on the score sheet as well. I'm going to put this argument to you and see if you guys agree or disagree. When Roy Hodgson goes, do Palace get relegated?
Oh, damn.
Yes. Dude, well, to be honest, man, he should be self-isolating anyway. So I think what will probably happen is they should be a bit brave and go for Eddie Howe, you know, because they've got technical players, especially in their midfield. They've got technical players in the midfield, if you think about it. I do think so. I won't say they get relegated. I think they'll probably get a new lease of life. I wouldn't say relegated. I mean, there's going to be worse teams than them. You know what I mean? 100%. And they will pick up points. You know, you need to remember, like, when we look at, like, the level of players now, especially teams, like, I think there's 6-7 good teams and the rest it's a battle, isn't it? Let's be honest. You know, because, like, Sheffield United have just given us an advert of 2 different years, haven't they? Fulham, they always go up and down like a yo-yo. And I beg your pardon, who's the other team at the bottom?
West Brom.
West Brom. Yeah, come on, man. Like, they're the same. So when you've got these kind of teams coming in, Crystal Palace have always got a chance. Once they hit 40-plus points, they've always got a chance. I think Roy Hodgson's done them a great service. You know, he's got them nice results and stuff. They're just like, Crystal Palace are literally just like, they fulfilled the 38 fixtures, isn't it? You know, and they'll get a few cup games and that's it. It's a great question, actually, though. I'm not going to pause that.
Can I just say, though, that's a one-way road to relegation. I don't think Palace are going to get relegated, but once you start thinking like that, it's a one-way road to relegation. What they need to do, really, in the summer, I don't know if Hodgson's going to go or whatever. What they need to look at now is what's separating us from the top teams. What's separating us from moving on? Because look, they've got Zaha, they've got Eze, but then when you look at the rest of that squad,
it's about the same. That's championship level team. Benteke hasn't been great since his Aston Villa days. Andre Ayew's up and down. Riedewald.
That's Jordan, bro. Don't disrespect Andre. That's Jordan.
Sorry.
Jordan. That's the real credit. You know what I'm saying?
Milivojevic, good at penalties, good at set pieces. Is he a player though? I can't argue. Van Aanholt up and down. Gary Cahill's old. Kouyaté isn't a centre back. I don't know who this Ward guy is. And Vincent Guaita is like that's a championship. That's a championship quality team with Zaha and, like you said, Eze, just right at the top. Maybe keeping them away from survival. I don't know. You know, I think they could possibly be in a relegation scrap if Hodgson goes and they get the wrong manager. I think Kojo was right. I don't think Eddie Howe is the manager because with their defense.
Huh.
They
Oh,
won't
goodness,
do that
bro.
risk either. They after they had Frank de Boer to
Exactly,
obviously they're not going to do that again.
But at
And
least, sorry,
what?
Jack. Sorry, Jack. Go on, go on.
No, yeah, I was just saying, yeah, they're not going to make that mistake again. And I think a Sam Allardyce, someone like that, or even the Algarve one, whichever, either will do. But yeah, they need someone like that to just keep them afloat, because at the end of the day, they're not that club. They're not going to make those investments, those steps that will sort of slowly let them climb up the table. They're not going to make the shrewd signings that a club like Villa have in the past year or so. So yeah, they need a Sam Allardyce.
They've shown intent though, haven't they, by keeping Zaha and spending all that money on Eze? Like, there's
But
elements to that club that shows they want to grow. I don't
No,
know.
but that's basically. I feel like that Eze signing is based on the fact that Zaha is going to hit his prime years soon enough. Actually, no, he's in his prime years now.
Yeah, he's almost
He's going to hit 30 years, so 30 going to hit the 30s, and then they've been fighting so hard to keep him. I think his window to go is out the window. So they're trying to invest in Eze, and if eventually Eze will have to leave because he's not going to make the same mistakes Zaha made. For me, that is a good signing. But we talk about the rest of the team, and they're not making convincing signings. Joe Wood's not a convincing player for me. Andros Townsend is not a player you should still be depending upon all this time. They're so punching, thank goodness for that. But, Benteke, Ayu, Kouyaté, and these guys get praised for the bare minimum. They don't get praised for actual fantastic performances. Zaha and Eze give you fantastic performances because they are genuinely fantastic performances on top of quality. The others are, you're doing well, congratulations. It's sort of like when we were praising Timo Pukki for coming up and doing 10 goals. Like there's levels, and for me, that's what worries me about Palace, because I asked this question to a Palace fan last year, and they gave me quite a diplomatic answer. But my thing is, you've been in the Premier League how many years now, and you haven't cracked top 10. So what kind of club are you? Are you a club that's happy to just be in the Premier League and just be there and just collect the Premier League money every year and just stay about and just be good? Or are you actually ambitious and want to push up so that Zaha doesn't every year say, I want to leave? And you're not going to have that issue with Eze in maybe 2 years' time. They need to start thinking about progressing, because have they finished in the top 10 since they came into the Premier League?
I couldn't tell you.
I can't remember. I genuinely can't remember a season when they've done that. And that's my point. I don't know what club they want to be. You've been here this long. Even though we're laughing at Sheffield United right now, at least they finished in the top 10 last year. Aston Villa might do it. Leeds might do it. What about you?
Arsenal might do it.
Arsenal might do it. Hell, Newcastle finished 6th under Alan Pardew once upon a time. So where are you? What are you going to do? Or are you just going to be the South London club that signs South London players and just do videos?
There we go. We go to West Ham. They won against Leicester 3-2 goals from Lingard.
I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to be here like this.
You do you, bro. You do you. Jared Bowen as well, and Kelechi Iheanacho scored a brace, but that was not enough. We'll go to you, Ethan. Is Brendan Rodgers going to do back-to-back? No.
I feel sorry for him.
Back-to-back.
I'm just saying, I feel sorry for him. Every year he gets hit with these plagued with these injuries, man. Like, they're looking so bright. I fear them. I think a few more additions, they can even go on to push for the Prem, honestly. But it seems like every time around this year they lose a few key players, and then it's a big setback. Who did they add this summer? I think they added Tielemans, Fofana. James Justin came up.
Yeah,
he's looking very bright, and it's like Leicester, like the almost club. Funny coming from me, but Leicester almost like the almost club, where they're looking bright most of the season. Few good results, and then they're just choke last minute. That win, I feel like the scoreline didn't really reflect, because West Ham played phenomenal, but I feel like that win for me kind of confirmed that Leicester are still in the fight for top 4. They're third, but I don't feel that really reflects their position. They're in and amongst that top 4 fight as well. That top 3 is not so many.
West Ham are 1 point off. I think Liverpool are 2 or 3. So it's really, is really, really sticky. Let's ask the question. Obviously, Jamie Vardy hasn't had the best season by his own standards this year. Is Kelechi Iheanacho, considering his run of form, the player to take over that mantle for Leicester?
I think he's too cold. He's too cold. He's not consistent enough. You would have looked at it last season and you would have said no chance. But it's funny how a change of form in football can have people saying the craziest of stuff. I feel like no, I wouldn't say so.
So isn't this the first time that Iheanacho started 6 league games in a row in his career?
Is it?
Yeah, the first time ever. And so it is, that should tell you it's a purple patch for now. It's not anything to read into yet. But
to be fair to him, he did the teams that we recognise him playing for are obviously Manchester City. When Aguero was fit, Aguero was always going to start. Obviously, they brought in Gabriel Jesus to replace him, and then they sold him off to Leicester. And then to Leicester, Jamie Vardy's going to start. So is that a fair criticism on him, knowing that he was always brought in to be like a backup?
He stepped up. He's definitely stepped up. He's had to, because I think a lot of mentality plays a part as well. When you look at sort of Jamie Vardy as the main guy, you think, okay, inferiority complex. I'm gonna just sit back. I won't be able to. I know I can't match the sort of goals he will score. But now that obviously since Jamie Vardy's run and his form this season, he has been able to step up. He's shown a good sort of mentality in that, and that's definitely a good promising sign. Whether that's sustainable, we'll see. It's up to Leicester to decide if they want to buy another striker or if they trust Iheanacho.
I think the fact that they're playing 2 up front kind of helps Iheanacho. He's obviously there mopping up all the chances. Not no disrespect to him at all, because he's got the goals he scored against West Ham were pretty decent. But obviously I feel like he needs somebody there doing the hard work for him to just obviously get the tapping and get the rebounds. But you never know. He might go on to prove all the doubters wrong. Arsenal,
Still fairly young as well, isn't it?
How old is he? I think he's like 25, maybe.
24. 14 goals and 30 appearances this season, man. It's a good return. So,
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Sorry to interrupt. I didn't realise you were
No,
talking.
but it's true. No, but it's true. But this is the first time he's had a good return in ages, and that's the biggest thing for him. So he has to carry this with confidence now more than anything. This is a big confidence builder for him, because he's not hit the ground running at Leicester ever till now. So this has to continue. I think it's sort of like a big situation for him, and maybe he was looking at a situation where it might have been make or break, because you're right, Vardy has not been the same, but Vardy's still the talisman. But when Vardy goes, they need someone to replace his goals, because his goal record is very underrated. It's actually quite exceptional for someone that came to the league in 14, 15, whenever they won the league next year after that. So, he's got a big job in his hands, because Vardy's not easy to replace. But he's doing well so far. So let's see if he can continue with this run of form.
Arsenal 3, Sheffield United 0. Not really much to say about it, to be honest with you. 3-0.
What's the process?
Shut up.
Dino, are you an Arsenal fan?
Yeah.
Oh, are you really? I never knew.
Yeah,
but man, to be fair, man, Sheffield United, not everyone can beat Sheffield United, so big up to yourself, man.
Yeah, sure. Oh my god.
Big up yourself, brother. Sorry, man. Sorry, guys, man. My son is literally oh man. But I've been listening. But yeah, listen, Arsenal, man, Sheffield United, not everyone can beat them, man. So, oi, spot me, G. Come on, G. Spot me.
I'm not ready to.
I'll take for that goal though. I mean,
yeah, that was a great pass. But where was that pass on Thursday against Slavia Prague?
Yeah, exactly.
Waiting for that all season.
You man were supposed to beat the racists, man. What's wrong with your club, bro? Anyway,
I don't want to say anything about it, because it's just so the season's done. The joke was that of Sheffield, it's Sheffield United.
Yeah,
if we didn't beat them, I'd be seriously.
bro. Listen, not every team can beat them, fam. Liverpool, flipping Man United. Big up yourself, G. Come on. Big club like Arsenal, you know. Come on.
Yeah, biggest club in Islington.
It all comes down to Thursday, I think, for Arteta.
Do you not think though, like do you not think it's, I don't want to say unfortunate, but do you not think he's got credit in the bank with the FA Cup win? Okay, you're not in it now, I get that, but you know, in hindsight's a good thing. But like at the beginning of the season, you know, people are like, you know, trust the process and stuff. But to be honest, he looked like, you can see what he's trying to do. Obviously, he doesn't have the players to max out the plan. But do you not think though? And this is not trolling. This is at the most respect. Do you not think Arsenal's a bit of a sinking ship now?
I thought we were a sinking ship a long time ago.
Hear what I'm saying. Like regarding winning the league and dominating English football, I generally think that ship has sailed, sunk, whatever. I generally think now, boy, I think you guys are competing with Everton, West Ham. I think that's Arsenal's level now, literally.
I don't think it is. But
you think lower?
No, no. I think high. I think we should be.
But what evidence though? Because on the evidence of this season, you lot are below them.
This season, but the season before that, when Emery's last season, we were with a worse team. We were battling for top four. If we didn't go on that bad run, we would have got top four. Then again,
but you did.
I know that's my point. I was going to say we did go on that bad run, but I feel like that was down more to Emery's tactics and just his lack of desire. Hello.
I feel the pain, bro. From a father to a father, bro. I hear what you're doing, bro.
my nephew. But yeah, I feel like we're there. So this team is I won't say much better than what he had, what Emery had, but it's better. And for us to be 10th, 11th, 12th constantly, 9th, it's unacceptable as a team as big as Arsenal, with our transfer budget as well. We don't spend like City, we don't spend like United, we don't spend like Chelsea, blah, blah, blah. But we do have the spending power enough to be battling for top four. And the football we've been playing this year has been absolutely dreadful. At the very beginning, I did trust the process. I thought I'd give him time. But 2 years in a row, poor finishes in the league. Obviously, the first season wasn't his fault, but I don't think Emery even would have finished that low in that first season that Arteta did.
You boast a trophy, though.
It's an FA Cup, and that's the reason why a lot of people believed in him and trusted that process, because nobody expected Arsenal to get that FA Cup. Nobody, not even Arsenal fans. So that's the credit in the bank for him. But on a personal level, I think if he doesn't get through on Thursday, he should go. On an Arsenal level, on a board level, I don't think they'll get rid of him. And that's the cut and dry bit. They should get rid of him if he doesn't beat Slavia Prague, though. That is.
But is it not too easy to get rid of him, Cahill? Because you, like I said to Tottenham boys, I said that, you know, who are you really expecting? The Arsenal job, the Man United job, are poisonous chalices, aren't they? Let's be honest.
But here's the thing.
Go on. Sorry.
Here's the difference between me and Tom. I don't want the big names. I don't want the Nagelsmans. I don't want the.
He's not even a big name, bro. Don't even give him that.
He's the up and coming names.
I get what you're saying.
I feel like the time for us to get a big top manager was when Wenger was hanging on, and then Klopp and Guardiola were available. That time is long past. So I want the guys. My personal choice of manager when the job was open was.
Brendan Rodgers?
Hell no. Oh, it was Wolves manager. I forgot his name. Nuno Espirito Santo. I feel like what he's done at Wolves, minus this season, but then again, the injuries that team has taken are horrendous. If you get rid of their top striker, it's gonna go bad. I feel like he could do a job with these players that are very average and make them better. That's something that Arteta can't do because he's never done it. And
I get what you're saying, man.
About Arsenal, I think it was unfortunate, and I don't think he should have got it. But I don't think we'll get him. I think Arteta will stay regardless of the result on Thursday. And Arsenal are currently finished, so I'm getting bored of speaking about how embarrassing Arsenal are.
Can I say as well, right? For me, Arsenal, right? The key reason why you're down there and not up there is the transfer policy. Absolutely, it's the transfer policy for me, right? Because for me, it's cut and dry. You look at the fact that you brought in Louise and Willian, players who have kind of been there and done that, but at the same time are past their peak. When Arsenal play with Saka and Smith Rowe and some of the younger players who have a bit more freedom and have a little bit more desire, motivation, almost, I suppose, have this kind of, I don't know, this different kind of energy about them. That's a different Arsenal team to me when I watch it. And a manager like Nuno would bring those kinds of players into Arsenal. I think that's the issue. That this old model of bringing in old, 30-plus-year-old players, it doesn't work anymore. That's the key thing.
That annoys me, but I feel like the transfer policy that's the key into our downfall is spending big money on players that don't suit Arsenal or won't bring anything to Arsenal. Aubameyang excluded. Lacazette was 45 million. Xhaka was 35. Mustafi was in the top 30s. All these players that just were horrible and have been horrible for Arsenal for years. I didn't want Partey for the money that we spent on him. Yes, he had a great pass to Lacazette this game, but he's been bad this season and he's picked up an injury problem which didn't exist outside of Arsenal. I felt like if we recruited smartly and found these young gems, like maybe a Renato Sanchez or Ibrahim Sangar that went to PSV, that went for 9 million. That in terms of stats and numbers, does the exact same that Partey did. That's what we should do. We found Martinelli, so why can't we find these gems and bring them into the fold and then build from there? Young up, not old down. It makes no sense, but. I'm boring myself talk about this boring Arsenal team. So I feel like we need to move on. And there's no games to talk about. West Brom are winning 2-0 against Southampton currently. But let's go fixtures. Let's wrap it up with the games next week. Everton, Tottenham.
Oh God.
What do you think is gonna go on there? Who's winning that one?
Trip to the dentist, really. Yeah, man. Literally. It's home. We're away, actually, aren't we? We're away. It's at home. Yeah, that's horrible. I'd say 2-1 Tottenham. I can't lie to you. I think that's me speaking out of desperation, but we need nothing but a win. Otherwise, literally, just kiss everything goodbye. Kiss Harry Kane goodbye. Top 4. Literally. So I'd say 2-1 Tottenham. Definitely.
4-1 Everton.
Sorry, I apologize.
4-1 Everton. Come on,
Everton. Because boy,
Jack is done. Oh my!
You saw the way you played in the cup game. Finished 5-4. Defense, absolute shocking. We surprisingly played some good football going forward, but shocking defensively. And I just see us doing the same thing without actually approaching the game in that same way. Jose will be like, "Look, you came here last time. You conceded 5. You're not doing this again." And in that, defense there'll be more pressure on that back line, and we'll concede 4. And I think Kane or Son will get consolation, cheeky 88th minute consolation at the end. But this team is fully in the pits of hell right now, and something has to change before the cup final.
Jack, you reckon if we played how we played in the first half against United, we'll get a result?
I don't think regardless of how we play or how this manager plays, I don't think we could get any kind of result, to be honest. I just feel they're not coached. They're not coached to play either way. They're not coached. They're not taught how to defend. They're just taught, listen, you sit deep, balls come in, you head it out. That's all I feel this manager does. And when it comes to press, he thinks it's just chasing players. It's not chasing players. It's selective. You have to pick and choose when and which player goes to the man. This guy doesn't know how to do that or how to coach that. It's not in his DNA, and yet, because historically he's never done that. So how do you expect him to become a master at it straight away?
You've got on 2 rants in this episode. It's wonderful.
He's got a lot to get off his chest, man.
He has, man. Newcastle, West Ham.
Newcastle, West Ham.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I think that's a tricky one for West Ham.
I'm still going for my guys to blow bubbles, bro. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Lingard for his finish early and on the weekend as well. Beautiful bend on that finish. First time volley. He might come on. So 3-1 the Hammers.
Daniel?
I'm still going to go West Ham, man. West Ham have been picking up results because they're consistent and because they've been playing good football, and they do it over the course of 90 minutes. Newcastle have done it a couple of times because, to be fair, good substitutions and all of that. Like Sam Maximan needed to come off the bench, didn't he, for Newcastle? End of the day, though, seeing them play football, they're not amazing. I don't think they're going to cut through West Ham. So for me, it's going to be a West Ham win 2-0.
Arsenal, Fulham, I don't care. Manchester United, Burnley.
Wait.
Hey,
I
Scott
don't
Parker,
care.
manager of the year, bro.
I don't care. We could win that thing 10-0. I wouldn't care with 10.
North London is finished, bro. Oh my lord.
Manchester United, Burnley.
I'll go 3-0 Man United.
Yeah, same. Same. I was going to say that scoreline as well.
Go 3-1.
A tricky game for Liverpool. They face Leeds at what's their stadium's name? Ellen Road.
Yeah.
They're different bag away from home, innit, Liverpool?
Yeah, but they did get their first win, so
They weren't
Anfield in a while.
They weren't amazing, Kojo.
I know.
I'd say 2-1 Liverpool. 2-1 Liverpool. Why not?
Desmond 2-2.
What are you saying, Daniel?
I'm going to say, and I know this is bold here, and also I know Leeds aren't a popular choice amongst Villa fans. So I'm going to go for a Leeds thrashing, man. I'm going to go 3-0. Because that Liverpool defense for me, man, they're not going to cope with constant pressure.
If Liverpool lose this game 3-0, I am finding 4 Liverpool fans come on next week and explain their club's behaviour.
They're going to want to react from that game, that Champions League game, 100%.
Yeah.
I see them coming out.
Damn. I'm going to go with a draw, 1-1.
So you talk about Liverpool's defense, and all I'm thinking about is how Arsenal just let them steamroll us. See, I hate that.
But your defense is also,
Yeah, don't flatter yourselves either, man, Kale. Like that defense needs updating.
I'm not saying it doesn't, but bloody hell, man. Bloody hell, we were poor that game. Chelsea, Brighton, I'm thinking that's the easy game for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Chelsea.
at Stamford Bridge, 5-2 last time. 4-1.
I say Chelsea win 2-1. No, 3-1 actually. I'll give them 3.
Comfy 2-0. They've been solid at the back as well, man. Don't see them conceding at all.
Last game, big one for you, Daniel. Aston Villa versus Manchester City.
I don't even want to think about this. Nah, you know what? What I have seen from Villa, and I'll say this again, they do step up when it comes to the bigger teams, right? And whilst I was critical of our performance against Liverpool, it was better than our performances for the last few weeks. I'm gonna go 2-1 City. No, you know what? I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw. City might be tired after that Dortmund game. I'm gonna go 1-1. 1-1.
You're very optimistic, bro. 4-1 City.
Lol.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Bro, Konza, Mings, Emi Martinez they're not conceding 4 goals, bro.
You just said the weakest link there. You said Mings.
Mings has been shaky. Yeah.
I don't read that guy.
But what is it about Mings that's poor? There's literally one aspect of his game.
Lapse in concentration, I feel like. It's switching off.
Yeah.
And
It's
against
passing
City,
it back to the keeper. Bro, he ain't gonna be playing it around the back against City. There's no way. There's no way they're gonna be sent out there and told to pass it around the back.
Got a point.
So
He did against Liverpool, though.
yeah, but Liverpool and City,
Different animal right now.
yeah,
He's a
at the moment.
slightly better. He's a slightly better Davinson Sanchez.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
I don't know about that. Don't know about that, man.
That tells you all you need to know.
Defensively, Mings is fantastic, right? Him and Konza, when it comes to get into the near post, when it comes to making those blocks, when it comes to organization, brilliant, yeah. But those lapses in concentration, they're a big problem. They're a massive problem. Don't get that twisted. But I don't want to make the prediction that he'll do that.
That's what stops a good defender from being great. Lapses in concentration.
Yeah, I agree.
A good defender is good at concentrating, in my opinion. I think that's one of the biggest traits of a defender. For me personally, but yeah,
this is a wider issue, yeah. But we've seen this a lot in the Premier League this season. You know, without the crowd and without the pressure of like the crowd, like kind of making that noise. You know, whoa, what are you doing? A lot of players that are being caught, a lot of defenders being caught passing it around the back, aren't they?
Some people headed it to Real Madrid superstars, but you know what I'm saying.
I think we shall wrap it up there. We thank you guys for joining us. Ethan, where can they find you?
They can find us at Big Sixpence. We'll be going live very, very soon. Thank you guys for having me on, man. Appreciate it. I hope to get you guys on board as well. Yeah, been a pleasure, you guys.
Thank you for joining us. Daniel, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Razajono. Thanks a lot, guys, for inviting me. Really appreciate it. Always love my time on this podcast. Yeah, like I'll be tweeting about Villa and other bits and bobs. So yeah, cheers.
Jack, where can they find you?
Yeah, just find us at Touchline Hotspur, so at Spurs_touchline, as well as Touchline Fracas. And yeah, hopefully next time I come, thanks for having me again. But hopefully next time I come, I'm actually happy for once. But we'll see.
I doubt that. I do doubt that, but it is, man. Kojo, where can they, bits and bobs, where can they find him, and then where can they find us?
Yeah, so everyone's links are in the description, but Bits and Bobs is at Bits and Bobs, so not and Bobs _ and obviously his YouTube channel is Bits and Bobs, so go and find him there. Great content, great interviews, great guy. And thank you, boss, for coming on. Thank you guys for coming on as well, and you can find us, of course, on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Twitter 3inMidfield, YouTube 3inMidfield podcast. And that's about it.
That is about it. Thank you guys for joining us. Like and subscribe. This has been an episode of the 3inMidfield podcast. Good night.